All right, let's get into it. Today we're looking at a pretty bold vision for America's future. The argument? That the keys to the U.S.'s security, its jobs, and its power in the world, well, they might just be in Africa.
Yeah, this really is the big question, isn't it? The whole global economy is shifting. We're seeing these new tug-of-wars over energy, over the minerals that literally power everything. And the argument we're digging into today says the U.S. has a pretty stark choice. Get ahead of the curve and lead in Africa, or get left behind and just react to what everyone else is doing.
And this quote, it just nails it. This isn't about feeling good or making symbolic gestures. Nope. It's about cold, hard strategy. It's about what's actually in America's best interest for the 21st century.
So what's this secret weapon, this unique asset the U.S. has? Well, it's the expertise and engagement of African American leaders. The whole idea is that if you empower them to take the lead in Africa's emerging markets, you're not just building a bridge, you're creating a superhighway to protect America's most critical interests.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does it actually work in the real world? Let's take a look. First up, we're diving into Nigeria and its massive energy sector.
I mean, you really can't overstate how important Nigeria is. We're talking about the biggest economy in Africa, a major player in global energy, and right now, as the US and Europe are desperately trying to find reliable energy partners, ones that aren't unstable or openly hostile, Nigeria is right at the top of the list.
And look at the payoff here. It's incredibly clear. When you have African American-led firms aligned with U.S. interests investing in Nigeria, it's like a hat trick for America. First, you get better energy security. Second, you create good-paying jobs back in the States, in logistics, engineering, you name it. And third, you create a real alternative to rivals like China, offering a transparent, partnership-focused approach instead of their, often murky, state-controlled deals.
But hey, it's not just about oil and gas. Nigeria is also a critical ally in the fight against extremism, so its stability is a huge deal for U.S. security. And what's one of the best ways to create stability? Economic development. It's a powerful security tool in itself, and it shows there's a better way forward than the models those authoritarian states are selling.
All right, so that's energy in Nigeria. Now let's pivot to another absolutely critical resource, the minerals that basically run our modern world. For that, we turn to our next case study, the Congo.
Yeah, and if Nigeria is about the energy that powers us today, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, that's all about the tech that's going to power our future. Think about it. Electric cars, advanced defense systems, green energy, it all runs on minerals like cobalt and copper. And the Congo? It's sitting on a massive share of them. It's basically ground zero for the next tech revolution. And this is where the competition gets really intense. Right now, China pretty much dominates this space. They control a huge chunk of the mining and processing. That gives them incredible leverage over U.S. manufacturing, even our national security. So what's the alternative? A U.S.-backed approach that's all about transparency and ethical investment. It's about breaking that dependency before it's too late. You're probably starting to see the pattern here, right? It's just like what we saw in Nigeria. This strategy delivers for America's bottom line. It secures the critical minerals our industries need to stay competitive. It protects American jobs by making sure our supply chains aren't so fragile. And, the big one, it boosts our national security by cutting our reliance on our biggest rival.
And there's another angle here too, what people call soft power. By leading the charge with an ethical, open model, the U.S. gets to reclaim some serious moral authority. We're talking about things like fair labor standards and environmental responsibility. Areas where, let's be honest, Western countries haven't always had the best track record.
Okay, so we've seen what's at stake with Nigeria's energy, and where the competition is heating up in the Congo's mines. But that brings us to the most important question of all. Why? Why is African American leadership the secret sauce here? What makes it the key to this whole strategy?
Well, it really boils down to three things that create this incredible advantage. First, you've got cultural fluency. This isn't just about speaking the language, it's about a deep, intuitive understanding that builds real trust, not just sign-on-the-dotted-line kinds of deals. Second, there's the commercial know-how. Proven, top-tier expertise in global finance and business. And third, something really unique, civic credibility. It's a perspective that sees a clear line between doing good business and doing good for the country.
So when you put all that together, you get a strategy that's about way more than just foreign policy. It's about America finally using its entire bench, its full roster of talent. It makes the U.S. stronger at home by opening up new markets for minority-owned businesses, and it builds these genuine, person-to-person connections abroad. It is, quite literally, a win-win.
Okay, so the stakes are huge. The advantages are clear.
Where does that leave us? It leads to the final, unavoidable point. This can't just be a cool idea discussed in policy papers. The argument here is that this has to be a national call to action. It's urgent.
And this quote really frames that call to action perfectly. View Africa not only as heritage, but as strategy. That's a challenge, right? It's asking African American communities to look at the continent with new eyes, as a strategic frontier. And it's telling the U.S. government, hey, you're sitting on a massive strategic asset here. It's time to recognize.
But look, a strategy like this doesn't just happen. It needs real intentional effort. We're talking about the U.S. government, Wall Street, and major corporations all needing to get on the same page. They have to actively create the pathways and provide the capital to let African-American entrepreneurs and investors operate at the scale this requires. Because that's the ultimate goal here. This is how you build a future where America is safer, where our jobs are more secure, and where we can actually compete and win on the global stage. This isn't some side project or a niche topic. It's being presented as a core piece of America's grand strategy for the 21st century.
And that brings us right back to where we started, with a choice. Look, the question is not if Africa is going to be a major force in the 21st century. That's already happening. The real question is, will the United States engage with its full strength? Will it actually put its best team on the field?